Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. We're holding in Zevachim Daf Tzadik Dalet. We got to the Mishnah and the Tzagim base in the bottom. So the Mishnah. Nitas alo'er. If you have the blood of chatos spritzing on leather, on a hide, at shelo yuvshot, hide before it was skinned from the behemoth. Ain't no ton kibbutz, you don't have to go through the kibbutz. Mishu shot, but once it was skinned out, ton kibbutz, then you do have to do kibbutz. Even when you skin the behemoth, ain't no ton kibbutz. It still doesn't have, even when mishu shot, the thing is, even when you skin the behemoth, so you don't need kibbutz. We'll see in the Gemara the reason for the machlekes. How do you define a skin that was, or the skin of the animal that was mufshal? Why would it be considered to be something kabel tumah or not? Now, Einoto kibbutz, says the Mishnah, Elo mokoim adam, only the place where the blood spilled. V'davar shehu roy lekabel tumah v'roy lekibbutz. Only something which roy lekabel tumah, meaning that it needs to be, as we'll see, it needs something that is roy lemelacha. We'll see in the Gemara in a moment, and that it's roy lekibbutz. We'll see what is going to exclude. Continues the Mishnah. Chada beged, chada sak. Doesn't matter if it's clothing or sack, chador, leather, tunim kibbutz. Ve'akibuz b'makom kodesh. Where you clean the beged has to be in the base of English. Ve'shviras kli cheres. When you have a kli cheres that you cooked with, you have to break it. Also makom kodesh. Umirika v'shtifa. That's the first time the Mishnah has introduced umirika shtifa, that you have to wash after the kli cheres to clean the choishes. But then it is b'makom kodesh. This whole din is only by chatos, not by other kadoshim. Everything we mentioned over here. Says the Gemara, really, how do we know that this idea of the tumah and like which beged is kabel tumah? How do I know that the skin, once it was skinned off the behemoth, it does get as kibbutz? Anything that is spritzed it, you have kibbutz. What about the skin before it was removed in the behemoth? Compared to clothing. What does it mean? It's roy kabel tumah has the potential to be kabel tumah. Why? So the din is, what is davar kabel tumah? Something which is not missing a melacha. There's nothing else needed in order to make it roy for beged. Here, the idea is that's roy kabel tumah, because once you took it out, if you had in mind to keep it the way it is, without doing anything, it's going to be roy kabel tumah. So it has the potential of roy kabel tumah. That's rational. There's a long traces over here going on to the details. One is the or considered to be roy kabel tumah. But the way Rashi tells us over here is, you have a skin, you may go and use it for something else. So you have to prepare it until you use it. It may be used the way it is. It depends what you decide. When you decide that it's over. Even though now you didn't make a decision yet, the fact that you have the option to make a decision that it's over, it's already royal kabel tumah. Says the Gemara, Rav Lozo Imer Beged. Ein li beged. Minayin the rabbi sak. I didn't know to sack. Without saying down any other clothing, share aleo techabis. Share aleo techabis v'kol kodesh. Anything on it. Maybe you'll add also skin once you took it out the emo. Ma beged dover mekabel tumo of kol dover mekabel tumo. Listen to the difference between the shoynos. Rabbi Yehuda says ma beged haroi lekabel tumo. And the brother says, beged ha-mekabel tumah. Meaning it's not enough to be potential to get tumah, it needs to be right now full clean as a kabel tumah. Says the Gemara, my b'nayu, Amar Abaye, what's going to be the machlokes? What's going to be the case of the machlokes?
Question of mine is: didn't the Gemara say what the difference is?
Yeah, I hear.
One was at the potential stage. One is at the
right.
stage.
I think it's a good question. I think the Gemara is trying to bring a specific example. Where will be an example that you say this is going to be? You're right. We know in theory.
They're talking about different stages, so usually that's very clear. That's
I mean, is it some? One is right now. You're right. Many times you find it. The Gemara is asking. I want to give a specific case that there will be. This will come to reference.
Rashi addresses.
The Ma'ikri bechan matzinu beged the roy the kabatu v'inam mekabel. Right? Yeah. Where is the roy v'inam mekabel? Right. The will be the other read the meaning. Read is going to live here. We're over here. The Seidal of the top. So when you keep it, is more matlis pochos mishalosh or use the same mishalosh or shalosh kebenai.
Even according to Rabbi Yehuda, this would be an example. Is that what you're saying?
Even according to Rabbi Yehuda's example, yeah, an example that's would be machlokes. Let's see. What does it mean? You have less than 3 by 3. So what's going to be over there? Right now, it's a beged which you could give a cheshiva. It's very small. Usually poor people, it's something that's so small that it's not important to be a beged. But a person says, no, I want to use it, it'll become a beged. So you can change it, you can transform it to be a beged. Here he didn't make it a kavatuma. So he brings an example of 3 by 3. Again, Ramesh is pointing out of here, the l'chura, you could speak about the case that you skin the be'imo and you make a decision what to do with it. That's already also an example. But the Gemara wants to bring maybe another example of something more practical. He has a beged, and he has in mind that he wants to continue finishing it up, to put designs on it. He changed his mind and decided, no, I'm going to leave the beged the way it is. He could just change his mind. Right now it's not mekabotum. Right, meaning maybe just to add to the point, because it sounds from Tosis over here. The case of the skin, that's art. But I'm asking, what's the case of beged? That will be the answer to your question, Moshe. Our case that we have machlokes is gabi or, gabi skin of the beim. You're right, skin of the beim was very easy. You took it off the beim, but you didn't decide what to do with it. But what will be the case of beged that you have the machlokes? I want to have the machlokes also by a beged, by a case of beged, not only by art.
Theoretically, every beged is already at the stage of being.
Yeah, it's finished.
You can have a small beged where it depends on your mind.
Beged, so that's what I want to find an example of beged. So utzva is like a type of, Raish calls it a shatiach, like a carpet, and that's what we're referring to. Some use it for making it out of leather, some make it out of a beged. So if he decide to leave it the way it is, so you're done, right? So here he still wants to finish it up. It's roy to be if you want to change his mind. Here is until he doesn't finish up and does the edges of it. We see from Shimon clearly it's not mekabotum yet, so it's only roy. He will be the case. The blood spilled in such a thing is a ton kibus or not. That's the machlokes of Rav Shimon and Rabbi Elazar. Rabbi Yehuda and Elazar. Sorry. So the more Torah kibus, there's no kibus. Mishnah says, "Ela mokoy madam." We'll see. Says the Gemara, you know what I mean? Torah bon yechol nitas miktsas beged. You call it beged ton kibus. Could it be the entire beged you need to do kibus? Tomler masher yozeh. Only when the blood actually is touched. It says in the Mishnah, it doesn't say it could be Mekabel stomach Rabbi. Says the Gemara, Roy the Kibbutz. The Mishnah said also, Roy the Kibbutz was really his meaning. You're not coming to coming to exclude something you don't usually wash, you just rub it. We'll see. That's the Agadama to the Gemara to see later. Some items you don't wash, you rub it. Right? Like you can think about I don't know, some materials that are, it's a good example of material, you don't actually wash it, you just scrape it. Says the Mishnah, and the more says the name of the Orba Kibbutz. So we talk about things that have Kibbutz. So you want to tell me the leather that we spoke around this Mishnah is something that you wash. So Minu, more is a question. I saw love lashes is a dirt. So we talk about on Shabbos. So then is mekancho b'smartut. You could just take a little shvate and clean it. Hoist the shaloy. In other words, you can't put water in it because every time you put water in a baguette, that's kibbutz. It's like washing out on Shabbos. Hoist the shaloy. If it's made out of leather. So then you put it in water until it dissolves. Why? Because there's no problem with water on the art. It's a machlekes if all you could do with water, and if or the proper way of cleaning is with water or not. Tanya beged v'asak mechabdoy. Clothing, sack, you wash it. Hakli ve'or, what do you do if you have blood in it? Migar, you just scrape it. All three of them you wash. That clean regular vessel mikar. I was many times in front of Rav, and I rubbed my shoe in water. That goes a karbanon that say, how can you do that on Shabbos? But know that by leather there's no washing. You don't wash it. You scrape it, you don't wash it. So it's not kibbutz. So you want to tell me there's some number that holds there's no kibbutz, there's no washing, there's no cleaning it with water. By or that it says by in the Gabe Tzaras that if you washed it, you can wash it. Depends if it's hard or if it's soft. If it's soft, you do put it in water. If it's hard, you don't. He said he did put his shoe into water. So the leather of the shoe is hard, he can put it into water. Okay, and that goes like a bun. It can't be that shot. Can't be the pasuk that speaks about kibbutz is talking about hard leather, not soft leather. Why? So this is the question that we have throughout Shas. Neku v'nema lelakor. You want to tell the pasuk the chiksiva and birak chiksiva. In other words, you're gonna force your explanation on the pasuk. The pasuk says leather. It doesn't say if it's soft or hard. So you're gonna limit it only to soft. We're talking also these type of kalim. There's important kalim that come from this ayam, which are hard. They come out one by kibbutz. One of the third did not say which one yes, which one not. So the one tzaras comes from the beged itself, so it's like almost like a little bit of some growth in the beged, and that growth in the beged makes the beged soft. So you know, hard one becomes soft. Usually, hard one water does not work in it, but if it's in it, it does work. If you have a question, you have the following question. Let's say down on the base. It says the following: when you have pillows and called mattresses that are soft, then if it's made out of leather and it got dirty, you put it into water. So you see, even soft leather, you can put it into water. Kibbutz is not enough to just put water. You have to actually rub it. Like we do, a lot of times when you wash with your hands. You put it into the water, it's not enough, right? You take the clothing of your child, you got it all dirty with chocolate, you put it into water, it won't do anything unless you rub it. So, I said chocolate in a nice way, right? So you want to go, you have to actually rub it. Without rubbing, it doesn't work. So he says, kibbutz just putting it through water is not enough. You have to actually rub it. Says again the Gemara, the example, he said he put this shoe into water on Shabbos in front of Rav. Says the Gemara, Shich Shulchin Ava Kibbutz Loi, Mashma, or the way they say it in the side, Loi. So it says over there, he just put it into the water, but he didn't rub it. So you talk about soft ones and everybody agrees. Going back to what we said before. If it's a machlekes rabbanon and a cherim, if leather has a din of washing, something more that's in hard leather. Soft leather is talking about everybody agrees that there's washing. Washing is not enough unless you have rubbing. You have to wash and rub it. So that's what we said over here. Put it into the water in that case. Right? So by beged also, you should be able to put it into water. Why you say only if you have leather? You can put it into water because you're not rubbing it. So what about beged? So no. Beged shriyosoi zeu kibusoi. Regular beged, regular clothing, you put it into water, it's good enough. Only by leather, you need to rub it as well. So you put through a beged into the clothing, it's chayav. Why is it chayav? Because it's just putting into water. It's ready to pro. So you put a seed of flax, chayav. Why? There's a sudar of it kibus. So I understand. You put it into the water, you have kibus. What's the issue with putting a seed of flax? The magdoch, you want to tell me that it grows, meaning that it starts. The minute you put it into the water, it right away starts planting. Could it be planting? Yeah. What?
So it's germinating right away.
Germinating, right? Yeah. It's also wheat and barley. Why you have to get to pishto, the flax? So the Gemara is to riri by pishto near riri. There's some like liquids in it. So there is and the liquid come out. Yachi shlochim nami, so also by shlochim, which is leather, come out. Also kavi lisho, meaning by zera pishton, it's the lisho means when you come and when you lash, is you're making some kind of a form on the bread. So by pishton, when you have the water coming out of it, makes some form, you have over a lisho. Sheinkin by leather, there's no such thing as lisho by leather.
Rashi says the riri causes it to stick together. That's
that's the form. Yeah. You don't have lisho by leather. Okay. So anyway, there's something more by Zera Pishta than we have by something else. You're allowed to put a shoe into water in Shabbos. The same thing we just quoted 4 times. I put it into water, you just like put a little bit into water, but it wasn't a real kibbutz. So you said that you're allowed to do kibbutz. Says the one what I dashed to you was a mistake. Shirshur is mutter, but kibbutz is also meaning you can't do a full kibbutz, only to put a little bit into water, but not to put the water, leave it into water and rub it. The full kibbutz is also only just a little shirshur, which is a putting it like a little bit into the water, but not leaving it there and rubbing it. So that's what he said. Rava wanted to say that it's a mutter. He said, no, I made a mistake. That's awesome. Very interesting over here. It says that Hadar Uki, meaning the Rava, corrected himself. It says Rashi Hadar Uki right away it said it to the Meturgam. He didn't wait for a different time. So one of the Chorim wants to say, because the idea is that so when a tzaddik makes a mistake, Baruch Hu right away brings him the message, he made a mistake, in order for him to fix it immediately. And that's the ma'ila of the tzaddikim, that they're not embarrassed to say they made a mistake. To tell you something that you make mistakes, and that's how you learn from it. So Rabbi right away immediately corrected himself, so there won't be any michshol coming from his psak. Sima kibbutz b'mokom kadosh minan emilia the Torah Rabbana techabez mokom kadosh is clear in the pasuk. You have to do mokom kadosh. Shvias klicheres minayin. How do you know the klicheres that you put into the chatos? You have to break it and ask him mokom kadosh. To learn the klicheres asher tevushal bo yishaver. So from there you see you have to break it. And it says over there the same pasuk. The pasuk says klicheres asher bo yishaver. And that's at pasuk chavav. The pasuk would be pasuk Chaf. It says Boker Kodesh. So right before that it says Boker Kodesh. How do you know when tikli nechosh is copper? When you have it with ear, merika v'shtifo, you have to wash it inside and outside. In other words, all these three things come in the same process. This is really the whole theme of this parak. We're talking about kibbutz, we're talking about shvira, like klicheres, we're talking about merika v'shtifo. It's all in the same pasuk regarding the korban chatos. Says the Gemara, Zechorim b'chatos, that's what chatos is more chomer than other kodesh kadashim. It's more of a tuleiko v'ayiko. What do you mean? Do you want to tell me that's the chomer of chatos? Actually, the Gemara is saying, this is where chatos is more chomer. The idea of kibbutz, if you have a blood, chatos going in the beged, that's what it is. You have it's in a kli. If it's klicheres, you have to break it. If you have to wash it. And that's why you have a chatos more than other things. So that's all. But we have the idea that you go bring it inside, so it becomes asur. Says the Gemara, or really the Gilus Shavish Yechezkel lifnim. So chatois aprim is to go into kodesh kadash become asur. So when chatois chitzoin, talking about chatois chitzoin is that even before that becomes possible. So okay, but chatois chitzoin shvichas domo lifnim psula. It goes inside because puzzle. Rakiva learns not only chatos. That is equivalent to other carbonas as well. Other carbonas also, when you go into Visamigdosh, they become puzzle. Says the Gemara, what about the fact you can make chapri machavi krisus? Chatos is unique because it does kapar and chavi krisus. Says the Gemara, bechatos the shmiya sakoyel. You have a chatos by shmiya sakoyel when someone came. We learn Masech Shavuos. Told somebody, you have a edus on me. Said, I don't have it. So he says, give me a shvuah. On that shvuah there's no chorus, but there's the chatos. Sheketuna arba matonos. What about the fact that chatos you have to put in four matonos on the four corners? So it's also not unique because we're going like Rabbi Shmuel, Domai called Domim, tuning down matonos al chatos. Al matonos, kamo. According to Rabbi Shmuel, how do you do shtayim shem arba? We saw before. We know it can always, we learn throughout the Masechta Shtayim Shem Arba, like the other shita that says that it's an L shape. You take the two corners together. Hashmal says no. You do one side, the other side, one side, the other side. And you do it 4 times. So it's not unique by chatos. So well, no, you know what's unique by chatos? Al dal kainos. You put in the 4 horns. That's unique by chatos, not by the karbanis. So well, the time of Vayiko Karen. What about the fact that you need to put it on the horn itself? Vayiko etzba, you have to do it with the finger. Hayiko chud, you have to do it on the edge. Elchad mitrei klasa chum minokat. You're right. There are a few things that chatos are more than other karbonis, and I'm just mentioning to you 1 of 2, 3, meaning it's a bunch. Here's one of them, and we're just mentioning in this mission the idea of kibbutz and the idea of shvira, but there will be other things that chatos is different than other karbonis. We'll stop over here. Be'ez Hashem, continue from here tomorrow.